What's shaking and baking, all you hip cool cats? Get ready, because we're still on a crazy ride. Join me as we go into the realm of peace, prosperity, and understanding, and compassion. That's right, we're going to be reacting to another video from none other than the great content creator himself, SsethTzeentach. But before we get into this crazy adventure, please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and hit that ring bell notification. That way you're made aware when Chicago Reacts uploads new content onto our YouTube channel. But also, please support the original content creators. Why? Because it's the right thing to do, and that's what all hip cool cats do all the time, supporting the original content creators. And today, the video we're going to be reacting to is Crusader Kings 2.0 review. You cannot afford Family Edition trademark. Hey, you know, I'm all for family-friendly content, and maybe this time around it will truly be just that. Family-friendly. So, everyone, without further ado, since I'm in charge of the ones and twos, let's get ready to pull up this video and enjoy Crusader Kings 2.0 review. You cannot afford Family Edition trademark by SsethTzeentach. So let's go ahead and pull up this video and get ready to play in 3, 2, 1.
Hey people, Seth here. Today, I'll be covering a game which really tests the limits of my ADD medication. A game where you can grow an empire, watch it prosper, only to stub your toe, die from an infection, and watch your empire dissolve because you have no idea how inheritance works. Catch cancer, beat cancer by praying it away. Thanks God. Spend money, invest into your own people, lose your money, go heavily into debt, borrow money from the Jews,
Well, it looked family friendly for a moment. Almost for a moment. Almost.
Consider paying them back. Keep it instead by expelling the Jews from your country. Don't feel bad about it. We've been expelled so often, you really won't hurt our feelings if you...
Well, could we, you know, not do that? Can we all just get along? Can't we all just get along? I think that'd be very cash money if we all just got along.
You do it again. Marry your sister. Divorce your sister because she's too old. Marry her daughter instead. Turn your family tree into a family circle and watch your dynasty burn to the ground as your children collect every chromosome known to man. Of course, I'm talking...
Look, I said it before and I'll say it again. Be grateful you may not be related to any royal family, barons, or lords. Because you know what? They were all inbred, okay? They were all just... There's a lot of things wrong with those people. The royal families. There was just a lot of things wrong with them. Just be glad. Just be glad you dodged that bullet, okay? You're not related to the kings and queens of antiquity. Be grateful. Okay? There's just it was not cash money. Just be grateful.
Talking about the most prolific, complex, and intricate medieval incest simulator on the market today, Crusader Kings 2. Crusader Kings 2 is a game covering nearly 700 years of human history, during which time we treated each other very, very well. Religious tolerance was at a...
That's when you faced your opponent man to man, sword to sword, fist to fist, shield to shield, spear to spear, arrow to arrow.
An all-time high. Human life was short and painful, and the man amputating your leg could probably also trim your beard. In other words, the good old days. But with modern technology, those good old days can be experienced all over again from the perspective of a single person you pick from the world map, who is then forced to live through your terrible decisions. CK2 falls under the definition of grand strategy, which might lead you to believe it's a strategy game. In truth, grand strategy is neither grand nor strategic. You just paint the map with color crayons and then upload your meme image.
As far as I'm concerned, the Holy Roman Empire is a stat in name only. The true success was always Byzantium. Never forget Byzantium. And the great city of Constantinople, now called Istanbul.
image of a Holy Roman Empire onto Reddit for those sick upvotes. Grand strategy is to strategy what Doom is to the field of literature. Doom is not a very good book. In fact, it's not a book at all. So don't feel intimidated. This game is actually just a very simple Excel spreadsheet with a lot of poor UI scaling. But that's not the point of it. The point is the characters, which behave as uncontrollable agents of chaos that act and react to everything you do, often in the most unpredictable, illogical, and insane way possible. In other words, they act exactly like humans. But what is your objective in Crusader Kings 2? Well, the same objective as every human being. As Oscar Wilde once said, everything in the world is about sex. Except sex. Sex is...
Oh, why did I pause it at such a horrible time? Oh my God, why did I do that? Why? Ah!
about power. Power is what you're ultimately trying to gain. And in the medieval world, there are only two ways of reaching that power: war and marriage. Essentially, you're sleeping your way to the top, and in the process, you pray you don't get poisoned, cucked, or inbred before your genes can pass on to the next generation. If you fail to preserve your bloodline, your dynasty ends and the game is over. You can't just pass on your genes, you gotta look after them too. Unless, of course, your seduction skills are so high that every woman in a 100-kilometer radius is already knocked up with your kids. Children aren't exactly the best at staying alive.
Well, you know, that'd be kind of a weird superpower. You walk in a neighborhood and, you know, you have such great charisma that as soon as you walk past a lucky lady, she's automatically carrying your baby. That's bad news bears all around for everybody.
Your child could be killed during a mass archery incident by some madman armed with an automatic crossbow. Or
I saw that video where this individual actually made an automatic like crossbow using I guess correct me if I'm wrong in this audience. So that means we need an expert to step up. We need one of you. I'm talking to you. You need to step up right now and correct me if I'm wrong on this one. But somebody made a video where it was as though they made an automatic crossbow weapon using the technology of the time, and I guess it turned out to work properly. I guess I don't know. Pretty crazy, you know. Us humans, pretty ingenious.
simply smothered by his own pillow, by his own mother, holding the pillow. So, like stocks and investment, I recommend diversifying your assets. Luckily, the same applies to your potential rivals. One of my favorite things in this game is performing late-term abortions. Now, infanticide is not something I support. It's something I recommend. Remember, if you can't kill your enemies today, you can still destroy them tomorrow.
Oh. You know, I'm glad he's making an actor's comeback. You know, he's doing all right. He's doing all right. Glad to see him back.
Whether or not your dynasty can survive entropy and uncertainty will depend on how tactfully you can balance the needs and wants of your realm, which is completely impossible. Your vassals always want more land, your wife always wants more jewelry, and your brother always wants more of your wife. Try to satisfy everyone, and you'll end up satisfying no one, which is why the secret to a long reign is disposing of everyone who doesn't like you. After that, you're safe, secure, and absolutely at the mercy of this game's RNG system. Aside from conscious actions, schemes, and intrigue, this game is actually played by hitting the spacebar and letting time flow by. What does time hold in store for you? Surprises. A lot of surprises. And you're gonna hate every single one of them.
Ah, the Order of the Silver Hand. I think that's Lord... No, not Uther. Yeah, I think that's Uther. Yeah, the Lightbringer. Uther Lightbringer.
99% of the gameplay is based on random events. Some are good, some are bad, and
I'm guessing by this game for Crusader Kings. Now, look, folks, I haven't played this game, so regale me with tales of your victories and defeats, but I'm willing to guess, too, that there's certain modifications that you could add to it, which is why we're seeing a lot of Warcraft characters. That's right, we're seeing characters from the Horde and the Alliance.
You're completely powerless to stop them. Having a great time? Not anymore. You've got the plague, you've got syphilis, you've got lover's pox from sleeping with your maid. What do? Well, the only thing you can do, put your trust and faith in your doctor and hope for the best. Also, execute your maid for giving you an
At age 16. Burnt at the stake. Ay, 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 ay.
STI. The doctor manages to cure your plague. A miracle. But the syphilis? That's gonna be a gift that keeps on giving. Thank your doctor. Then execute him for incompetence. Order a new doctor. He's insane, paranoid, and probably a spy from Imperial China. But you know what? He might just be the guy for the job. It turns out he wasn't the guy for the job. And 2 of your direct heirs are now dead. They found rice grains in their chamber, but no conclusive evidence. Oh well. Anyway, your spy master informs you that your doctor is trying to murder you. You confront him and make him feel very guilty about it. He agrees to stop trying to murder you. More of your children end up dead. Also, while you were battling a lifelong struggle with STIs, your wife was having an affair. Your other wife, you've got 2.
Whoa! Damn, both your wives are cheating on you, bro. Oh, so sad.
Actually, God bless being a Muslim. Luckily, lesbianism is no risk to your dynasty. Yes, in Crusader Kings 2, having a homosexual wife is probably the best decision you could possibly make. But it doesn't save you, because your doctor just saved you from a life of sexually transmitted disease by killing you with a lethal dose of Chinese herbal remedies. So, try hard as you might, all your efforts will eventually come to ruin. You'll get cucked, and then you die. Quit the game, and start again.
You know, I think we're lucky that we're all born in the times that we are right now. Look, I'm pretty sure times are tough for a lot of people right now, but compared to how everything was back then and how miserable, dark, and depressing it all was, it could be worse. Okay, I mean, right now in this time era, look at all the comforts. We have technology. All of this, video games, indoor plumbing, Taco Bell, antibiotic medicine. It could be worse, folks. It could be worse. The beatings will continue until morale improves.
Ultimately, you're playing Crusader Kings 2 for the journey, not the outcome, and the stories you create in the process are unique to your experience. No game will go quite the same, which is why there's no reason for me to explain mechanics. Instead, let me share some stories. Once, I played as Charlemagne, king of the Franks, after my brother died of entirely
Charlemagne, greatness waits for no one.
Natural causes. I was left to think on how I would conquer the rest of Europe.
By the way, folks, I shouldn't tell you this already, but you should notice there's a difference between Charlemagne the Great and Charlemagne the God. But this isn't a history channel, but just so all of you know.
However, RNG interrupted my schemes. Just like that, I woke up one day, and I was gay. Most unfortunate. However, fortunately for me, another man of immense power was simultaneously struck with homo-lust, the Pope. And so, I seduced the Pope. Pope Stephanus III was an utterly geriatric recluse, but I knew deep down inside his soul, he was just misunderstood.
You know, a lot of history books and stuff that you get in school don't really talk about just how crazy and upside down the political intrigue was for medieval Europe. Stuff would have made history would make a great drama series for everybody on HBO Max, Netflix, Amazon Prime. Why do you think they keep on doing all these shows? Eventually one of them's going to catch on.
I wrote him a romantic poem. Roses are red, violets are blue. I like penis, and so do you. My words reached him and had their intended effect inside his heart. And soon, I was inside the Pope. The church was oblivious to our forbidden love. They had no idea old Stephanus was aching for more than just back pain. Turns out, it was very advantageous to have the Pope as your lover. Any piece of Catholic land I wanted, he granted. In exchange for French sausage, I received the...
Wait a minute, I remember that soundtrack. That's from Warcraft 3, from the Alliance campaign. See? I remember some things.
Entire Christian continent, and that's the historically accurate account of how Charlemagne took Europe, by taking the Pope's ass. In another game, I played as the Polish because I enjoy being abused by my enemies and my supposed friends who need more land. How much more land? Well, however much I had. Luckily, the bubonic plague began to ravage Europe. I lost most of my territory from before, so I didn't feel too bad about it. My peasants and their livelihood were now somebody else's problem. Meanwhile, myself and my court went into hiding. The gates were shut, the keys were thrown away, until all of this boils over. However, we had another problem. Food. Or the lack of it. I didn't really think about that. I assumed every kingdom in the Middle Ages just had a Tesco Express around the corner.
No, they didn't.
We waited, we starved, and then we found an amazing solution. Why not eat the rest of a court? I mean, they're not working anyway, so we did just that. And it was entirely sustainable because I kept repeatedly inviting beautiful women to join my court, to be consumed by the court. I'm not proud of what I did, but I did what I had to, which it turned out was completely unnecessary. Apparently, Poland was not affected by the Black Plague, and I sort of just freaked out and ate a lot of innocent people for absolutely no reason. Look, I'm not very good at this game.
SsethTzeentach. His reign forever shall be known as the crazy cannibal Polish king. Huh. That's a nice ring to it. The crazy cannibal Polish king. Okay, not too bad, not too bad.
Luckily, such horrific events are unlikely in modern times because of modern healthcare and sanitation. However, if a plague did have to start somewhere... Would you like to say a few words about our mold?
Yes, stop filming it. That's what I want to say.
Ah!
I'm not the one responsible for you guys leaving organic matter for so long that we have fluffy organic matter.
Well, I was about to get rid of it until you put it on display for the world to see. Now let me...
That would definitely be inside my friend's apartment. For my...
There's some things in this world I don't want to see. And now I can't unsee it. Oh well.
Last game, I decided to break history and play with custom parameters. I designed it so every country was ruled by teenage girls aged 14 and over. It was...
I don't want to know where this ends. How much further into Realm of Madness must be crossed into?
Pure chaos. It was a period of intense suffering. Also, I later found out I forgot to turn off Great Conquerors, so eventually, most of the known world was overrun by Genghis Khan and her teenage sorority. Luckily, she mostly left me alone. Unfortunately, even if I got a matrilineal marriage, heir succession laws would mean that any child I produce might try and overthrow me. I was screwed, figuratively. But once again, RNG tossed me a bone. Through intense meditation and satanic rituals, I became immortal. On the other hand, I also became an insane lunatic. And one day, in the style of Caligula, I replaced one of my counselors with a horse. I was infatuated, yet I couldn't marry him. Our legal system was not advanced enough to consider human-horse relations. More importantly, the game didn't let me. So I used an exploit. I made my horse a bishop. And in the process of turning my pony into a priest, he automatically filled an entire kingdom with horses, which somehow could be married. So
Damn. So Wilbur got his groove back. Fair enough.
I married and made love to a horse, producing an entire royal line of children that had no concern for the decadent ways of man. They were pure and majestic. Their only concerns were eating carrots and shitting on the streets. At this point, my queen was like a bakery because she was getting bread. There's many stories to tell, but you get the
Well, I guess that's an achievement. You have successfully bred with your nightmare creation. A title no one wants.
general idea. Every game you ever play will start with honest, sincere intentions, which will inevitably be corrupted and reduced to the most depraved and malicious acts you could ever conceive. But hey, it's fun. Of course, no game like Crusader Kings 2 is complete without multiplayer and friends, which always ends with everyone sleeping with your wife. This happens so often that I sleep with everyone else's wife, just in case.
It sounds like Seth has fucked every man's wife at the moment, so...
I'm only
Yes.
fucking free man's wife.
That's because there's only 3 men available in this fucking country.
Multiplayer is great. Some of the best shenanigans take place in multiplayer, and luckily, only the host has to have the 3 billion DLC packs necessary to make this game playable. The base game, much like a woman in her mid-40s, is a bit barren. You really need the DLC to add some basic features that should have been in the base game. I think CK2 is a wonderful game, but it's also a game published by Paradox, which is why
Paradox, the same game that gave us the friendly game called City Skylines. I like to build my cities. I've actually, and I found out, which was actually a lot of fun when I first started playing City Skylines, was you get to name the buildings and people and cars. I named one of my colleges the Southern Hampton Institute of Technology. Southern Hampton Institute of Technology. It is a wonderful university, and you really become a piece of something great when you attend Southern Hampton Institute of Technology. And then, of course, there's always the other college that I made called the Federal University Colleges of Knowledge. Because you don't want to mess around with the Federal University College of Knowledge. Students there don't mess around. Okay, I'll stop.
even though I love it, I can't recommend it because the whole damn thing costs around anything from $120 to $200. With that same amount of money, you can satisfy your daily caloric intake for 17 to 28 days on nothing but dollar menu cheeseburgers from McDonald's, one of the most basic and essential components to human life. But if you've got the money to spare, go for it. Or just marry someone rich. Most people do it for a visa, you can do it for video games. Alternatively, there are ways to obtain the DLC. Southeast London, hole in the wall. Take the USB stick and don't look back. If you do, run. If you hesitate, I'm not responsible and I don't know you. Good luck. And if you're not fully satisfied, don't worry. There's an entire modding community out there to fix all your issues. And it's not too difficult to mod the game yourself. In my case, I was getting PTSD from all the death sounds, which play each time a family member bites the dust.
Oh no.
Well, have a listen for yourself.
Oh wow. At age 47, your vassal Duke Alptro of Tuscany was boiled to death on the order of King Daridius of Lombardy. Oh my god.
I think you'd agree these are a little bit unnerving, so I replaced every death sound with a bass-boosted sound clip of Lego Yoda. Now this is much more soothing to the ears. I don't even mind when people die now. It sounds great. Final score. I hope you enjoyed reading this essay as much as I enjoyed writing it. After playing this game for so long, I finally figured out its purpose. The primary goal of Crusader Kings 2, and perhaps life itself, isn't about living a good or bad life. It's about living an interesting life, and inevitably, to die an interesting death. So,
Okay.
you can loudly proclaim on your deathbed, "Thank God I didn't waste it all on a boring life." Once you're dead and buried, you won't just be a footnote in history. You'll be an interesting footnote.
Let's see. Yo! Oh my God. God damn it. I'm not prepared for the amount of madness in this world. The beatings will continue until morale improves, my friends. And if you can't read that, that's just too bad. I'm not reading it out loud.
Note in history. Take and do whatever you please in this life, because eventually it ends, and life can take anything and everything away from you, except your stories. So, better make them interesting, because we're all heading towards the same destination. 7 out of 10. I enjoyed it. I think it's very interesting. However, I'm always filled with regret and a constant state of what ifs. What if I just spent all that money on cheeseburgers? Would I be happier? I don't know. I guess it would depend on whether the burgers were fresh, or just the hot stale garbage they leave for a couple of hours. As always, more content to come, so stay tuned. A warm thanks to the many members of the Merchants Guild generously funding and bankrolling these videos. You're all truly wonderful. Have a good one.
Crush my cock with a rock I must. Maximum pain I must endure. Okay, here we go. Maximum pain must endure. Brush my cock. Brush my cock. Brush my cock. Endure. Endure. Brush my cock. Brush my cock. Brush my cock. With a rock. With a rock. I must. Endure my cock. Endure my maximum rock cock. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Cock. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Cock. Rock. Crush my.
So, there's a lot to unpack there. All right, obviously Crusader Kings looks like a fun game to play. Kind of reminds me of a little bit of Medieval 2 Total War, but I think there's a lot more options to customize your characters and see their story than like what would you get from Medieval 2 Total War. As always, SsethTzeentach carefully guides us through compassion and understanding, not once tiptoeing on the borderline of madness and brutality. So there you go. A lot to take away. It looks like a fun game if I ever do have a free schedule again, and I'm not so busy or occupied with personal responsibilities or work. Maybe someday I'll get to play some games again. And Crusader Kings looks like a fun game. And you know what? I might consider doing it multiplayer, just to have all you hip cool cats join me in the action of playing all these games. So there you go. As always, I'm going to say please support the original content creators. Support SsethTzeentach as always, because let's face it, you know, making these videos, it's not an easy task to do, but it must be done. I wasn't prepared for the amount of anarchy, as always. And I leave you with this final note. The beatings shall continue until morale improves. I'm Kit, and keep your head on a swivel.